The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you're listening to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Matt Jones.
I'm Slick.
And I'm Justin Lemmy.
Thank you for being here. You know, last week we failed. We failed, guys, big time.
What?
Yeah.
We didn't.
We did. We really did. We failed to mention you had a birthday coming up.
Oh, yeah, see?
You know, when Justin, he's at that point where you get to a certain age, you don't really want to broadcast anymore that it's your birthday. And
Yeah.
you know, I understand.
Now, Justin, was this a milestone birthday, like 40?
No, dude, that was 3 years ago.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I always think of him as a kid because he was a kid when he was doing our morning show stuff years
pretty
ago.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, man.
No, I'm 43 now.
All right. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How was the celebration?
Very interesting day every 4 years to announce that I have a birthday. I'll give you a little history on that. So, like,
Okay.
what was it? January 20th of 2017, Donald Trump became president of the United States.
Okay.
I then turned to social media knowing that I'm going to troll people. And I said, today is a great day. And I had
God.
so many people start just yelling at me on social media, calling me a liar. And I'm just like, it's my birthday. And then they would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, delete, block. It was a very easy way for me to get rid of the negativity in my life. So every 4 years, I announce it's going to be a great day. And that's the day the new president takes over.
So no matter what side, whether it's left or right, you're gonna upset somebody.
Oh, yeah, totally. And then I just go block, and bye.
Now we know a little secret about Justin, though.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
you're saying I missed my easy shot to like finally get rid of you?
No, I kept you around. I could have blocked you easily, but yeah.
Just to torture you.
Yeah.
Just to torture you. Yeah. No, this birthday was all right. It was kind of chill. I mean, I just hung around the house for a little bit. And then I went over to my favorite, neighborhood brewery and had a couple beers, came
Right.
back, and then we went downtown to the Blue Moon Brewery, which, Blue Moon is like a national brand.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I think I've seen
that the Belgian wit. It's kind of they usually serve it with an orange slice
Okay.
on the side.
All right.
So it's like it's a Belgian wit beer. We went there and had some dinner, and I had a small flight of tasters, and then I had a free pint. Came home, and then after that, I don't remember much, to be honest. My wife says I went to bed at like 7 p.m. I don't recall.
See-
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I woke up to something in my email that I must have done in my stupor.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What did you
Got
buy?
myself a birthday present.
Uh-oh. What did you buy?
Well, let's just put it this way. I had to pay in Bitcoin, so I didn't touch the finances of the family.
What?
Adele? I mean, I know.
No.
Adele.
A ransom?
A Cybertruck?
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
It's a transportation device.
Station device.
Okay, you've already got an electric car.
Oh, I know what you got. You had an e-bike.
Close.
Well, it's like an e-scooter, the whole bit?
Yeah. Go ahead and click on
no.
that chat there.
All right, you just sent a photo of this.
Yeah.
He's going to end up in the hospital.
Oh,
I'm just calling
yes.
this now.
Yeah. I got the one wheel.
Dude, you're
The
gonna,
one
you're gonna
wheel-
break your neck.
Yeah, the One Wheel Pint X.
Yeah.
The pint goes for $1,500.
Right.
And so basically, if you don't know what a one wheel is, imagine a skateboard, but instead of having four wheels, one on each corner, you have one wheel in the center of the board, and then you kind of straddle the board with your foot in the front and the foot in the back. So the wheel is like freely spinning in between your legs, but you just kind of tilt where you want to go. It's basically like riding a snowboard without the snow.
Yeah, but on the asphalt.
On the asphalt.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Which, by the way, I did get helmet, pads,
Good.
knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, all that
Insurance.
good stuff. And extra insurance. Yes, I updated my will. all those good things. But no, I did get a one wheel, and it's going to be delivered as of this recording later this week. So by the time we do the next show, I'll either update you or I'll be in a cast. Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody doing one of these?
Oh, I have. I've been watching videos on this for a long time. I mean, I've really wanted one of these for a long time. There's a couple people in our neighborhood that have one. I don't know who they are, but I've seen them cruising around on it. It looks more like a skateboard. You ride it like a skateboard, which another thing is I don't know how to skateboard. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Oh, man. Yeah. Matt, would you get on this and do this?
Yeah, I actually know how to skateboard, so I'll do it.
Wow. It looks like it could be fun, dangerous. I'm thinking about the time not long ago, Justin was telling us, this is before you joined us, Matt, about him trying to pop a wheelie on his bike and the wheel flying off and him going over the handlebars. I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But that's why I got my wrist guards. Because when I was riding that bike, I didn't wear a helmet. I didn't wear any pads. I was thinking I was safe on a bike, and then I went over the handlebars. So yeah, no, I've learned my lesson.
Now, it comes from a company called onewheel.com. They have the One Wheel Pint X. You can see it on there. They've got like tons of reviews on it. People loving it. So, I mean, this is it's kind of
a very popular thing. It's very, very popular. And they've got different styles. So I got the middle of the road. So they have the Pint, which is $750.
All right.
Then you got the Pint X, which basically that increases the miles per hour by 3 or 4 miles per hour, but it also increases the battery. So it's double the battery. Then beyond that, you've got the GT model, which is $2,500. Then you've got the GT Model S series, which is $3,200, and that's the top of the line. Now the difference between the GT and GTS and the Pint series is the Pint series comes with like a slick tire. So think like a racing tire. It's not designed for racing, but it's designed for
a tire with a lot of hair.
Yeah. No,
sorry.
Yeah, this is more of a wheel to go on asphalt. When it comes to the GT series, those are treaded tires. Those are more designed for off-roading. So people actually take them. You can go on the internet. You can go to YouTube. Just like look up One Wheel GT Forest or something like that. And you'll see people going through the forest on it.
I am looking at video on it, and I can see like the forward movement. You know, you get on it, and when you level, you could kind of use it to go forward and backward. How about left and right? I mean, is it the same theory as a skateboard?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just kind of lean the way you want to go, and you always want to keep your body like centered over the board. So you're kind of like it's like putting pressure on your toes or putting pressure on your heel. Right. That's the way you do it. And then just by the general motion of you doing that, you're putting more pressure on that side of the tire, which then naturally makes it want to turn that way. So that's the idea behind it.
Kind of like it. I was in Best Buy around the holidays, and they have a whole new section now of like e-gear. And one of them was the e-bike. And that's what I thought you were going to say, because I honestly would love to get one of these. I mean, it's been a long time.
One of these or one of the e-bikes?
One of the e-bikes.
Okay.
I mean, they're beefy looking. They've got, a battery on it. You can ride it like a regular bike, or, you get battery assist. I mean, they look pretty amazing what they're doing with outdoor recreation and technology.
On that vein, there's actually, Justin kind of described it as like snowboarding, skateboard. I've been seeing these online. There's now a thing called the summer board, and it looks like your traditional like longboard skateboard, but then in past that, there are 2 caster wheels underneath it as well that are battery powered. So you're going down like a regular skateboard, but then you can actually swing it around and do like you're going down on your toes or going backwards on your heels. But watching it, it's the same range of motion as a snowboard.
That's cool.
The summer board's electric powered. Then there's another company, the Freeboard, and that one's just
oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
Yeah, the Freeboard is good old Flintstones foot powered.
Yeah, summer board. Now okay, summer board. I put it in chat, by the way. There.
All right.
That is more designed. I want to say that is definitely more for people that have grown up on skateboards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think one wheel is a little bit more forgiving for people that have never. I mean, I used to skateboard, but God, it's been 30 some years. But it wasn't. I was never really into it. I mean, I think I was better at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater than I was actually skateboarding.
I like the look of this summer board because it looks like you could use it just about everywhere. And when I grew up, we had the roller skates and the boards that had they didn't have the urethane wheels. We had those wheels that you hit one little pebble and that was it. You stopped automatically and you went flying through the air. It wasn't until they started having the advancements in skateboards and roller skates with the wheels that allowed you to do more of this stuff. And I like the truck system they have on this. It's called summerboard.com. How much are these? Because it said $300 off. So I'm thinking, okay, they must be pretty expensive.
About $1,500.
Yeah, okay. About the same price as a one wheel.
Right.
Now, I've actually seen videos of people using a one wheel and they're doing it in like actual skate parks where they're going up and they're grinding the handrails or, whatever else it is in a skate park. I'm not a skater. They're going off of ramps. They're dropping in off of a tall ramp. People on a one wheel, they can basically do what skateboarders do. Now, they can't take it like up in the air and do a Tony Hawk like 1080 in the air.
It would stop, wouldn't it?
Well, that and also the fact that a skateboard weighs what, 5 pounds? This weighs about 25 pounds. So yeah, there's just no way that's going to happen.
Problem is now, when are you going to be able to use it? Do you still have snow on the ground in Denver?
No, the snow melts like almost instantly after it snows.
I just thought of a good plus for you, Justin. When it gets really cold and the Tesla stops, then you can get this thing out and go get the rest of the way to work.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
About that.
Yeah, well, I don't drive the Tesla because that's my wife's car.
Oh, okay.
But this is, I told her, I said I was going to take this to work, and she's like, no, you're not, because that street you drive on is dangerous as it is already. So, this is going to be something to just cruise around, go over to Matt's house, go to a couple other friends' houses.
I like it. Again, summerboard.com. The one that you're looking at is One Wheel, and look up the Pint X if you want to check that out. We'll have links on our website as well. And once you get it, you got to get us a video of that, Matt, of him riding it.
Oh, I promise I will get videos.
Thursday afternoon, baby.
Now, Matt, you didn't have a birthday, but you got yourself some new headphones. I've never heard of this brand before, too.
So yes, it was end of year bonus time, and I decided to get myself a shiny little present, and then be an adult and put the rest of that money towards adult things like bills and. So the headphones are by a company called Audeze, which is Audeze, and they're pretty much exclusively an audiophile company. I've had some coworkers and other friends who work in the sound space, and they've raved about their headsets for years. The thing is, with my setup, all my stuff goes through a GoXLR, which we're going to touch on in a second because I got some unfortunate news about that yesterday. But a wireless headset with the GoXLR has always been kind of a problem. So I actually found out how to now route everything so it's still feeding to my headset, but I can control it through the GoXLR. But it's also one of the first headsets to have a fully baked in Dolby Atmos license with the headset. So you have the instructions, like as soon as you get it all hooked up and set up, they're like, now go download the Dolby Atmos app, and the license is already there and you're set. But the headset is the Audeze Maxwells. It comes with boom mic that you can detach as well.
Right.
And they come in 2 flavors. There's the PC Xbox version, which has Dolby Atmos hard cooked into it. And then there's the PlayStation version, which will only work on the PlayStation because it's got Sony's Tempest audio cooked into it, which is
there you go.
Sony being like, we can compete with Dolby Atmos, even though, no, you can't.
What was the model you got?
The Maxwell.
Yeah. That's
Maxwell.
Yeah, it looks looks beefy. When you first, started showing us, I thought maybe Sennheiser And then Slick, you were thinking other brands too, but it looks like a beefy set. The main thing with the headphones, though, is it comfortable? Because sometimes you put on headphones after about 2 hours, 3 hours, you know you're wearing headphones.
So these are great because they're not your usual headphones where you like click into place. If I want to adjust these, I actually have to take out like 4 different screws up here to screw the band in at a higher distance. So the thing is, the pressure on the top of my head, there's almost none. And the ear cups, this is the first time I've ever had this with a headset. The ear cups were actually cut at a slope. So because how your headphones normally like kind of fold in a bit, the pads are a bit chunkier in the front and a bit, flip that. They're chunkier in the back.
Right.
And thinner in the front. So they just rest in with the actual curvature of my head. They're super comfortable.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be great.
Before this, I was using, they were a collaboration headset between Hi-Fi Man and Drop.com. And it was the Hi-Fi Man HE4XX open back planar magnetic headphones. These are also planar magnetic and they sound great. They're super comfortable. They don't really move when you shake your head around. I have an ear piercing and it goes right over it. Like they're amazingly comfy.
Now, these are wireless. So can it pick up Bluetooth? So can you stream Bluetooth to those headphones?
So they have Bluetooth. They come with a USB-C dongle, which is what I'm running off of for my PC. And they also have a 3.5 millimeter jack that you can use as well. So you have multiple connection options.
Are these like 7.1 surround? You said Dolby Atmos. Isn't Dolby Atmos like 7.1 or 10.1 or 10.2 or something like that?
It's something like that, but I loaded up a couple of on YouTube, the Dolby Atmos. They actually have like test or demo videos with the audio cooked into it. And I used those between the two headsets, and the change in like hearing the positional audio and everything that goes with it. It's wild, man. I heard the sound actually like spinning all the way around my head. It was really cool.
When they do those demos that are made for it, like even if you're watching a movie and you hear somebody walking from the back left, and then, you hear it from the side, and all of a sudden you see their shadow right there up in front, or you see the person. It's like amazing how they've engineered that sound in your headphones or even speakers, depending on your system, to actually do that. It makes it more immersive and makes it a lot more fun, if you ask me. Can you do that? Can you watch television or watch a movie wearing those and get the full benefit?
Yep.
Why did you go for the electrostatics?
Yeah, I was about to say I was looking at the electrostatics there. That's their. No, I'm sorry, the CRBN. That's their top of the line, $4,500.
Wow,
and that's why I didn't buy them.
Well, you said you got a bonus.
Would kill you.
I did, but
it is electrostatic. CRBN electrostatic. Okay.
If I went up and told my wife I got a bonus and bought a $4,500 headset, regardless of the fact that I'm half deaf in one ear, I would get that headset in, and she'd look at it and be like, "This is amazing," and then beat me with them.
Yeah, that's why you don't tell her.
I've done that. Okay, I've done that exactly one time in my life.
Right.
And how'd that work out for you?
I have done that exactly one time in my life.
Once. That's it. Yeah, you can't hide that stuff. That's pretty good though. Even priced, it's still a good price. I mean, it's still competitive with Sennheiser and Bose. I think Bose might even be a little more money in those. It seems if you're comfortable, then why not? Just moving. You were talking about the slope on the ear, and I started moving mine just a little bit, and I'm like, wow, it actually is a little more comfortable. And so they just use an extra design to make that happen.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I want to circle back to, I mentioned the GoXLR and receiving some unfortunate news.
All right, now, can you tell us a little bit about, I remember we had, I want to say it was Raya Stream on the show, and he talked about GoXLR, and because we were amazed at the quality of his audio. and his microphone and how good it sounded. And he mentioned GoXLR. Can you kind of tell us a little more about that and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the longest time with streamers on like Twitch, you would have the older analog style mixing boards, more knobs and sliders than you know what to do with, and a user manual that was close to the thickness of the Bible.
Yeah.
Which would be a technical, a price, and a skill prohibitive thing to getting a really professional quality sounding stream. Then a company, TC-Helicon, created a product called the GoXLR. And when this came out, I want to say it came out in 2020, but I'm a little fuzzy on that. I can look at that later.
Or right around there.
But it was the first simple, easy to use, relatively in comparison, audio mixer that you could use for your stream. You have an XLR input, you have 3.5 millimeter jack for a headphone, per mic. And I use mine when I stream for a 2 PC streaming setup. So I have one PC for my gaming, one to capture and upload the stream itself, and I can control the audio for both of them from this box, the GoXLR, on my desk. I've got 4 programmable audio sliders that I can choose what audio is going to what slider. I've got a full, I've got a sample board. So I can record 12 different audio samples, have that saved in there. I've got our favorite button that I get to play with.
Right.
And then you've got a voice changer in there as well for voice effects. And it's all off a USB and an app on your computer. It was amazing. Everyone wanted one. It was easier to use, easier to set up, and it was great. Until I found out, very angrily, that TC-Helicon has spun down their GoXLR division, and it is now going to be considered an abandoned product. So it is now just a ticking time bomb of there's going to be some Windows update that's going to break the whole dang thing.
Yep.
And it's going to be a box sitting on my desk.
Why would they do something like that? If people, you go online, you look, people loving it. They love the product.
They do.
They really do.
But they were the innovator. Now you have everybody else coming, creating other things. You have the Rodecaster,
right?
Yeah, the Rode Podcaster Duo, the Rode Podcaster Pro 2. Bridge Audio just made a new one. The original GoXLR team has their own company. I can't remember that one off the top of my head. But then building into that, you now have full ecosystems. We were talking about the Stream Deck last week.
Yeah.
Well, it's Elgato. There we go. Sorry, long day. Elgato with their wave microphones, which are USB powered, or they have, I believe they have an XLR attachment as well. But everything for that is hard cooked together and can be completely controlled through software just on your computer.
Right.
So while GoXLR was the start and they were the innovator and they opened that gateway and made everything a lot easier, it was still a pretty expensive piece of equipment, like over $500 for it. They eventually created the GoXLR Mini, which is just the 4 sliders and that's it. But that's even the Mini, I think, was like $250, $300. Now you've got these other companies coming out with a comparable or in some cases superior product for cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Rodecaster right now. I mean, the Rodecaster Duo, even the Rodecaster Pro is $699, and that's way better than the GoXLR was.
Yeah, Rodecaster has come a long way, and they've been really a favorite by many podcasters, even broadcasters.
I was about to say.
There's situations where I know where they're doing it working from home. They work from home, everything's good, and they use that, and they're happy with it because it's easy to set up. You know?
The one that I'm looking at to replace it is it's by Roland Audio, but it's the Bridgecast is the one that I've been seeing a lot of different, and if the page will load, I can tell you more. that I've seen a lot of different YouTubers, streamers, everyone there. It's one that they're looking at. It's got knobs instead of sliders. I'm seeing dedicated mute buttons. You still have voice changers, but for comparison, my GoXLR, I want to say it's probably about 6x10. And then stands about 2-3 inches thick, and I've got it on a tilt mount.
Right.
The Bridgecast has the tilt built into it. It looks smaller from a physical standpoint. And from what I'm seeing, like the touch buttons actually look like they'd be like a real solid like click button, whereas the GoXLR, they're touch pads.
Right.
And that is one of my complaints is sometimes you go to hit a button on that and you're like, did I
hit it?
Get it?
Yeah.
Did I hit it? Is something happening?
I wonder if this means that people will be able to pick up the GoXLRs at a good price. But again, you say that, a Windows update could render them pretty much not working.
It could. And I know there was a thing where shortly after they spun down the division, they did push an update. And I mean, I thankfully through IT, I have learned like, I am not going to apply this untested patch on the day it drops.
Yeah.
I've seen what happens with that. So I didn't update it. And it's apparently a good thing I didn't because it broke a lot of stuff and people were cranky. You had to roll things back. And I mean, it really is a shame because it's a great piece of hardware, but like so many things nowadays, they were just like, well, this is done.
Here's good. Here, we got to take a quick break, but here's a good tip to share. If you're working mission critical and it has to run throughout the weekend, that thing, never update on a Friday. Never update on a Friday because or even a Thursday, you're trying to get in touch with somebody to help you fix it before you might need it on the weekend. I know wedding DJs have done this before where they've run an update and all of a sudden stuff's not working. Do it, plan it out, make sure, but don't do it on a Friday thinking I'm just going to work this weekend because that could be really bad for you.
We actually have a term for that in IT. It is referred to as read-only Fridays.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Anytime somebody's like, I'm just going to push a small patch. No, you're not.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We've got listener questions. We've got one asking about backups, so maybe we could call on you. And then Slick is going to be happy. Linux getting some love. We'll tell you what that's all about coming up with Tech Talk Radio.
Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Love getting the listener questions. And if you have one, you can email us, techguys@techtalkradio.com. You can also give us a call and leave a message, 520-777-9580. We'll kick it off with Ray's question because it's pretty good. Ray in Tucson said, hi, guys. Love your show. And finally, a question I can ask. I haven't heard you talk about backing up for a while, and I've been thinking about needing to do that. Is this something I can do on my own? What's the best way to do it? Backing up a system. And why is it important?
There's a couple of different schools of thought with backing up your system, which, yes, you should absolutely do. Yes, you can do it yourself. Why you should do it? Because it is so easy nowadays for you to lose your files. And when I say easy nowadays, in the times of an HDD, a hard disk drive, your data was stored on platters. And if everything went completely catastrophic, you could still do something that was called a level 4 data recovery, which would be like you would think out of a sci-fi movie. Your hard drive goes into a clean room with guys in white bunny suits, an electron microscope gets involved, and they try and recover your data. Nowadays, everything is pretty much on solid state drives or the NVMe M.2 drives, which are just like, they're little sticks.
They look like memory sticks. Yeah.
They're the size of a piece of gum. But with the advent of cloud computing, cloud storage, it is now easier than ever to back up your data in an off-site location. Some people are still of the school of thought, plug in an external hard drive, back up my data that way. That's fine. What if your house burns down? Now you've lost the computer and the drive that was on it. I'm a big proponent of having your data stored in at least 2 separate geographical places. That's why I like cloud backups. Now, if you're a Microsoft person, and you pay for an O365 license, you can back up all your stuff onto OneDrive. And that is automatically stored up in the cloud. The things you really need to concern yourself with backups are documents, photos, music. You don't need to back up the installation of a piece of software because you can just reinstall it. Back up the preference file? Sure, why not? Just 2 weekends ago, I was out in Nevada, visiting my folks, and my dad had messaged me before, and he was like, "Hey, you're coming out to visit. I don't want to bug you for a whole bunch of tech support stuff while you're out here." I was like, "But you have a list." And he was
did your dad give you a ticket?
He was like, "But I have a list." And I was like, "All right." So we get there, and the first one, he had a Microsoft Surface Pro 5. Okay. And he was like, "I've been seeing like this white light on the sides of the screen, and it's weird." I look at it in the front, and I don't know how he missed it because I just kind of looked over at the side, and the Surface Pro 3 through 5 had a really bad problem with battery swelling. And I just kind of looked at the side, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, why don't you look at it from this angle?" And he was like, "Why would I look at it from?" Oh,
you could see it. Yeah,
the whole screen had like 3 millimeters of separation from the frame. And while I was there, it just kept getting worse. So I was like, you got to replace this. Right. He was like, "All right, well, I'm going to do it here right now so that while you're here, we can set it up and everything like that." When you install Windows 11, looping back to how we were talking about backups, when you get signed into your Microsoft account, because they like you to do that now instead of having local accounts, one of the steps is, and I love this step, would you like to restore from your most recent OneDrive backup?
Okay.
I clicked one button and came back about an hour and a half later, and all 60 gigs of his files were on his new computer.
Yep.
In the same storage methodology as before, this folder structure and everything like that. And it was easy. Right. Now, if you're a Mac person, you've got Time Machine built into that. And that's another thing. And the thing that I actually like is that it does what's called incremental backups.
Right.
So for those who don't know, incremental backups mean you take an initial huge backup. It takes a picture exactly of how your system is. And then over however long you set it up, a week, a month, I usually recommend about a month, it does what are called incremental delta backups.
Right.
And that's where it just backs up a log of the changes that you've made since that big initial backup. So say you have a month worth of deltas and you realize 3 weeks in, oh, I deleted this file that I really need, but you can go in a Time Machine, go back to the last day that you had that and pull that file back out. So should you back up your files? Yes, absolutely. You should back it up for disaster protection in case your house burns down. There's a huge power surge and your computer gets fried. Your girlfriend gets mad that you're playing too many games and destroys your computer. There's all sorts of reasons. Reddit is full of those stories.
But I think you make a good point, because a lot of us will go ahead and will invest in a WD Passport or a MyBook, or we get any of or a Seagate drive, whatever one we do, and we'll just go ahead and we'll get Acronis, or we'll get one of those programs that'll back up incrementally to that drive. But we leave it plugged in, number one. So in case you do go under a ransomware attack, that's gonna be infected as well. Or again, if there's a fire, there's a natural disaster, the whole system gets zapped. It's going to get zapped as well. So if you're not doing it to the cloud, that drive should be stored off site with you, whether you take it to work. But you got to be careful, because if you drop it and it's a drive, a platter-based system backup, you could destroy it.
And sometimes you need to back up your backups.
Yeah,
you do. That's actually a great point. As for the backup drives for platter size, not platter size, but storage capacity, we now have 2, 4, 8 terabyte external solid state drives. And, you'd have to basically NFL spike that into the ground. If you drop it, it's not as big a deal. I had a buddy who had a safety deposit box at his local bank for all his like really important documents. He had 2 drives, and once a month he'd drive, go to a safety deposit box, and switch which drive was which.
Right.
So you definitely want to have, backups in multiple locations, because as Andy, as you pointed out, ransomware for something plugged into your computer, earthquake, you want to have something separate from where your system is.
Right.
Now, I harped on OneDrive, but there's so many other options out there as well. Google has Google Drive. You can get 1 terabyte of storage space with them, and they have an app that'll live on your computer and sync your backups that way. SugarSync. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. NordVPN, private internet access. They offer cloud storage as well.
I believe Acronis also offers it with their Cyber Home Protect. You can actually use a cloud service through them as well. So you're doing your backup using their software, backing up to the cloud.
And Acronis is great. I've used them over the years, and I love Acronis. I love Veeam. If you want to invest in that software, that's going to really make sure your backups are solid. I'm a huge fan of those. And over the years, the baked-in solutions that operating systems offer have just gotten a lot more robust and, frankly, a lot more reliable.
Yeah. Like going with Microsoft's with their OneDrive. That's actually a pretty good idea. Now, when it comes to SSDs, I don't know if you saw the story this week. The world's largest SSD now has gone on sale. And it's only available for pre-order. It's from a company called, and I want to see if I pronounce it right, Solidigm, which is SOLIDIGM. Their SSD, according to Tech Radar, is 61.44 terabytes.
Yep.
And you can actually fit 2 of them inside a tower. And it will go for just under $4,000 for one of them. So if you really wanted to have 61 terabytes, why you would need that much, there you go.
Because if you need more, you could go over to Nimbus Data and get the 100 terabyte drive.
Wait, they have a 100 terabyte drive.
Yeah.
I thought the Solidigm is going to be the biggest.
It's the solid. There's a solid state. The Nimbus Data Exa Drive DC 100 terabyte.
Oh, okay. Is there a downside to having this much storage?
I mean, you could be the digital equivalent of a hoarder.
I already am.
Yeah.
It's taken me about 5 drives to do it, but I am.
I'm going to need that PDF at some point. No, you're not. Just delete it.
Justin, you've got a Synology, right? I mean,
yeah, I do.
Have you turned into a digital hoarder?
Not at all. No, my Synology still sits there. I mean, it plugs away. I don't even know when the last time I actually put something or accessed something on the Synology, to be honest. It just kind of sits there and does its thing. I really honestly don't even use the computer I'm sitting at right now very often, which sucks because, again, I mentioned it. I upgraded it recently. I use my laptop for almost everything now.
I think a lot of us are doing that. All right, Slick, for you, I know you'll like this. Beta News had a story about Sparky Linux. Have you heard about Sparky?
Yes, I have.
And you could download the ISO now if you want to delve into this. If you've got an older system, maybe you're not using, and you thought, maybe I'll try something. Sparky Linux, they're saying, is a compelling alternative that people could consider a switch from mainstream operating systems like Windows 11 and be able to really function and use Linux. But I think people are afraid. I think people are still afraid of Linux.
It's driving on the left side of the road. I mean, driving on the left side of the road, basically. It's an interface is an interface. You still have to look around and figure out where stuff is. There are differences, to the engine of the car, but it runs the car. It runs a car.
Right.
Most Linux generally, because now Ubuntu has, I think it called it Ubuntu Pro, which is I think it's a subscription based support system. Is available for that. So back to Sparky Linux. Yeah, it's free. It's free. You can financially support them. I just want to say that, as with other versions of Linux. They're claiming on their website, fast, lightweight, fully customizable, 3 special versions, or 3 basic versions of it, if you will. So and I'll leave this to you and Justin to play with, and Matt. Game Over for computer gaming.
All right.
I have no interest in that one.
Yeah. No.
Multimedia for audio enthusiasts
That
and
one I would like.
video.
Right.
That one I'm kind of interested in because I am using Ubuntu Studio
right.
on a computer, and it has all the editing stuff on there. And then there's Rescue. That version that has a it's so you can like salvage data or boot to a computer, maybe get the files off or
I need
whatever.
that. I need that one actually.
I haven't tried that version yet.
Right.
They have a CLI version, which I just learned about. I didn't know they had and CLI command line interface. That's the one I want to throw on a machine that I've got. It's not a super old machine, but the machine, the laptop I have, it has 32 gigabytes of RAM. I forget what the processor is. This is some kind of an AMD processor, and it came initially with Windows 10 in S mode.
Okay.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
S mode was supposed to be competing against Google Chrome operating system for the Chromebooks.
All right.
So one thing, I got it. I took it out of S mode, put it into full Windows mode, and it bogged down. So eventually, I put some Linux on it. But even most versions of Linux I've tried on it, including just basic Debian, bogged down on it.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that maintenance mode. We got to take a quick break. We got another question we'll hit coming up with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Matt Jones.
I am Slick.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
I got my feelings hurt earlier in the program.
Really? Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just that we were talking about the one wheel and the electric bicycles. You guys, do you hate the electric scooters?
Oh, man, I love the scooters.
Do you like the fat tire?
My first experience with an electric scooter was back when I lived in D.C. I had to go to a doctor's appointment that was like 10 blocks away. It's D.C., so I wasn't moving my car. And I saw one of these, the first, I think it was the Bird scooter. And, I scanned, I ended up paying like $1.20, but hopped on that thing, hit go, and I just took off. I was like, oh, I want one of these for me.
Mm-hmm. My sister got me a fat tire a couple of years ago. She drove me all the way up to Phoenix to get it, bring it back down. It looked like the Bat Cycle. Had fat tires. I rode it all over town, had swappable batteries in it. But here's what I want. I want the BMW MotorRad, and they're in town and available.
What is it called? The Moto what?
MotorRad, MotorRad, BMW MotorRad.
All right.
CE04.
And what do they run?
That's what I want.
Oh.
What do they run? I want to see
Well,
what
the
they
one
look
I
like.
want is $17,000 because I want it fully loaded.
Oh my gosh.
Remind me how your feelings were hurt again?
Because I didn't get a chance to tell you what I wanted for my birthday.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
When is that day coming up? Slick.
September.
All right. We got.
Yeah, you got enough time.
Yeah. We started GoFundMe. GoFundMe.
That is.
I want to look at this thing now. BMW motorcycles. It's available.
I'll put it in the chat. It's pretty. Slick, I can completely understand you wanting one of those. That's gorgeous.
And they've got some used ones here in town. I think I did some checking in, like the local dealer. He had one down. I know it says $12,000 on the screen right now. So when I put everything in there to build one up, it was $17,000. But they're selling so used one $10,000 and below here in town.
And these are all electric?
yes.
Wow.
And there's storage spaces in the middle, and oh man.
I was following a guy on Instagram that was riding an electric Harley, and he loved it. He loved the experience. And he'd go all over the place doing that.
Now, the question that there's a question here.
Okay.
Does the electric Harley still make sound?
I don't believe so.
Because Harleys are known for their sound.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things,
Do they have like a speaker and a subwoofer that just goes?
I don't know. I really don't know if they do.
I'll tell you what, here was the cool thing about riding that electric scooter throughout the town in the middle of the night. Nobody knew I was coming.
Yeah,
It was
but you
amazing.
See, I rode a Honda Valkyrie, which was a 6-cylinder, engine with these big mufflers, and I always went with that theory: loud pipes save lives. because there was a time where I would have to give it a little more volume on those pipes just so somebody knew, hey, I'm back here. I'm right here. So again, I don't know. I riding an electric motorcycle, it looks like it would be a blast, but that would concern me that they can't hear me. They can't see me. That could be dangerous. Lauren in Sahuarita sends us a note. I have some old photos from that I would love to touch up. And I guess these are from the 60s. She said, I bought a scanner and used that to scan these photos, but wonder if now I should buy a photo editing program like Photoshop to edit these. What would your recommendation be? I think we've all had that where you get older photos. They, over time, some of the they fade on the ends, or they get a little crackle in them, or sometimes I had a picture once I digitally touched up using Photoshop where it was folded in half, and I took that line out of everybody's face, the whole bit. Photoshop is an expensive program.
Photoshop, not only is it expensive, but it's got the learning curve with it. And even if you're just doing like the, kind of the cloud subscription, you're still looking for full Photoshop. You're looking at about $40 a month. But there is a software called Photo Glory, and the price of that software is just $20, and that is a specific piece of software just for photo restoration and colorization.
Now where do you find that?
I found that through Google Foo, and it is just photoglory.net. Justin, you got something?
Yeah, I wanted to mention if you're, that is actually a really, really good thing. I'm trying to look it up here on Reddit. I might have to come back to this, but there is a subreddit that you can go to. Photoshop requests.
Photoshop requests.
Yeah, so Photoshop request. So if you don't mind strangers on the internet looking at your photo, you can go to reddit.com, look up the subreddit called Photoshop request, and you can just post your photo on there and say, look, I want to get this photo touched up. You can do it free, which you're not going to get a lot of good responses on. But if you're going to say, hey, I'll pay you $5, I'll pay you $10, I'll pay you $20, the higher the amount that you're willing to pay for that picture, the better quality results you're going to get from these professional Photoshop artists on Reddit.
One thing I do know that I will say, being a Photoshop user myself, about Photoshop is the newest versions of Photoshop have incorporated AI into the photo touch-up operations. And I think that some people have been pretty happy with the way that their AI is interacting with the touch-up. So if you say, I want to eliminate this background, I want to take this out, so you have a little more control over that. There's also there's another program out there, and this program, which has been getting really good reviews, is called Topaz. And we're actually talking with them last year because we wanted to get them on a show and talk about what their program does and how it uses, AI pretty much to do corrections on photos. And they have like a video version. They have a still version as well. But Topaz, like I said, is you may have seen some of the ads on social media, and it may be hard to, you look at it and you go, well, it says before and after. For some, it may be difficult to see the change, but it actually is. It is pretty dynamic for the people that have used the Topaz program. But again, Photoshop does have some of those AI features that some of you might want to think about. But again, it can be kind of pricey. Do the trial.
Yeah, do the trial. There's a trial license for Photoshop. Photo Glory has one. There's also GIMP, G-I-M-P.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which is basically open source Photoshop, but that one definitely has a steeper learning curve. Looking deeper into Photo Glory, I actually might end up buying this as a gift from my mom.
Right.
Because there's literally just like toggles in here, like, hey, just crop out these worn edges, turn it on. Remove all the scratches and the tear that's in the photo, turn it on. colorize this for me, turn it on.
So it has
then-
like an AI feature to it.
Yeah,
Incorporated.
it looks like there's an AI-esque feature to it as well. And looking at the software, there's also more of a power user mode that you could do to kind of customize things. But if we're talking just the GP, our general public, trying to restore photos and stuff like that, this is actually surprisingly good for the cost.
All right, good stuff there. Also, I know Sean is out today, and he probably would have mentioned this. Is if you were looking for a program, and maybe you've heard about a big, whether it's you're doing a document, you've heard of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or even like in this case, Photoshop. If you're looking for a program to get a task done, there are alternatives, as you know, as Matt has told us about too. But there is a website, alternative2.net. That's alternative2.net. You go to that website, you're going to find all kinds of different programs based on different tasks that you may want to do that you could try out or check out that are going to be maybe a little less expensive than some of the, the big programs that are out there that offer a lot. But again, maybe you don't need all of that. So you want to take a look at alternative2.net. All right, we're going to take another quick break. You come back, a warning, a big warning. You don't want to get duped, and it happens every day. People are getting scammed. The recent story about a woman who has lost a lot of money and why she may not be getting it back and how she was scammed will make some of you just think, how could that happen? Even more reason to be alert when we're online. You can follow us on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel, Tech Talk Radio. You can subscribe there and check out some of our cool videos. In the meantime, we'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. Thanks for listening.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau. You're listening to Tech Talk Radio, and you're going to learn a lot.
There was a story this past week about a woman who had a JP Morgan Chase account that had a considerable amount of money in there, and she got a phone call from JP Morgan Chase, and it basically said that somebody was trying to move $20,000 out of her account, which she had, and they needed to make sure that this was blocked, so they had to confirm it was her. She gave them all the information at a fear of losing her money, and when she gave them all the information, they took the money out of her account.
Yeah,
and
that's your first mistake.
JP Morgan Chase is saying, well, you gave up your information, so we're not going to be liable for this.
Yep.
So that customer does not have protection. It's a good reminder. I mean, it's terrible for this person, but it's a good reminder that you get a phone call that says they're your bank. They even confirm maybe the last four of your social or maybe your bank account number. You have to remember that in the last 7-8 years, there have been data breaches all over the country and all kinds of institutions. Your hospital, your banks, your grocery store, your membership. Microsoft, etc.
Equifax.
Yep, Equifax. So with that, you have to remember that data is out there, and that data that ties you to accounts is out there. Never give information out over the phone, through email, through texting, nothing. If you have a question on it, and even I get leery about this, I'll still hang up, and I don't even want to go to the computer right away to log in and see. But again, you're seeing all kinds of attacks on this, and this woman lost $20,000. There are people every day that lose $200, $500, $100,
Yep.
But then it could go all the way up to a deed of a house, or suddenly you've got another account that is on your credit report that you're paying for, that somebody got credit for. So think about that and just don't give any info out. You have to initiate the call or go to the bank itself. Go down there.
If you look on the
exactly.
back of any card that is issued to you, there is a number that you can call. If you get a suspicious call saying, hey, there's some weird stuff on your account, we need to confirm all your details. If it's the real bank, they are not going to be offended if you hang up the phone and call the official number that you have on the card and confirm with it. Some of them will even be thankful for it. There is a reason why when you get communications from a bank, it says bank of whatever will never ask for your, and then they list off that information, your social security number, your PIN. They will never ask for that on a call. There are other ways to confirm your info. That is just tragic.
Also, just so you're aware, there are other cases that have been popping up recently, kind of an uptick in the apps that some people have on their phones, like Venmo or even Cash App or some of the other PayPal apps that are out there. So you got to be really careful about scams using those to send money or them being actually used to get money out of your account. So you got to be really careful of that. I want to mention too, we have the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteer Scam Squad here. Use that number. We've talked about them before. Definitely use that number, follow through, and ask them any questions, or anybody listening that's out of the area. Check to see if your sheriff's department has something like this. Because scammers will try and get what you have worked hard to get. You don't want to give it up. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. Thank you, everybody, for coming on board. Hopefully, Sean will feel better and be able to join us next week as well. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Matt Jones.
I am Slick.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you.